Today we want to talk about planning for our snowbirding trip. And so this is the fourth winter that we've come down to Florida, kind of escaped some of the cold weather from up north, hence the term snowbird. And so no, we are snowbirds. We kind of escaped the winter from upstate New York, where things are. We had about 100 inches of snow this year.
We did, and the day before we left, I think it was 0 degrees.
That's cold. So it was time to go, time to hit the road. A couple of things that we think about is when you think about planning for a trip like that, it depends on a bunch of different things. Are there any restrictions as far as like when, you can go or when you can't go? If you're still working, obviously there's some vacation things that you might have to build in there. We are now retired, so got a little bit more freedom as far as that goes. We do like to limit ourselves. So
we have one restriction that seems to go from year to year, and that is our love of the Buffalo Bills.
Because the Bills are playing.
Oh, right.
And they're doing a great job.
Right, they are.
And they make it all the way to the Super Bowl. And if they make it all the way to the Super Bowl, we got to stay home.
Yes.
We got to celebrate with the family and watch the game.
So if they should make it all the way to the Super Bowl, we want to be there. We want to be with our kids. They've been waiting a really, really, really long time. Not as long as we have.
But their entire lives.
True.
We do have some built-in cushion because we have a cousin. I have a cousin down in Florida, and we spent some time with them, so we have some flexibility before our first reservation might show up. And the other thing too is that some people just don't like to plan that much. People want to be a little bit more free and easy and kind of take things as they come, and that's fine. All right. So this is just
absolutely,
yeah. So this will just kind of give you an idea of what we've done, how we've kind of approached this, and and how far along we are on it. So we do have some tools that we've used to help us in our planning. Some technology. One is called RV Life, a pretty nice app that they've got. It's a combination of functionality. It has the trip planner. And their planner is kind of neat in that it'll give you it creates circles of different widths depending on your settings you put in there. You can see, okay, if I'm here, what's 100 miles away, what's 200 miles away, what's 300 miles away. And we like to limit ourselves to about 300 miles of driving each day.
Yeah, another thing it has is you can put in what type of RV you have. One of the really important parts is how tall it is. So that'll give us a few pointers on where not to go.
Another app we use is called Drive Weather. And so when we're planning on leaving up north, when the weather is really kind of dicey, we're trying to find a window where the weather is going to be clear while we're leaving up home, but also what does it look like on the way south? And Drive Weather allows you to plot in your stops along the way. You've got those figured out yet? And then kind of see what the weather is going to look like. You can see what the precipitation is going to look like, what the winds are going to look like, and what the temperatures are going to look like on the way down. So we found that one to be pretty helpful too. And then the other thing to think about is where do you want to stay? What are you looking to do on the way down there? Are there people you want to see? Are there places you want to go? Are there events you're trying to catch up to based on your schedule, et cetera? On our way south, we pretty much want to get down there pretty quick.
What you got there?
Piece of ice slid off the front of the camper. A little bit thick too.
Oh no! Oh, we were stopped at the rest stop in Pennsylvania.
One of the other things that happened was that friends of ours that we hadn't seen in many years ended up moving from Indiana, which we never get to Carolina, which we were going to be driving through. And so we made arrangements to stop and see them along the way. So serendipitous things like that will happen. And you want to keep your eyes peeled for those types of things. And so you
kind of schedule your stops and the amount of miles that you're going to travel, build into that desire to see people and do things along the way.
One of the other things we do is as far as where we're going to stay is like, well, once you get down into Florida, there's certainly a huge variety of places you can stay. There are Harvest Hosts, which we use pretty extensively on the way down. There are plenty of private campgrounds, RV parks, and RV resorts. There are state parks, county parks, probably a few city parks even down there. We have had good luck with the state park system, and we've stayed at state parks just I think every year on the way.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, so this is our 4th year of staying at Florida state parks, which are, universally, I don't think we've hit one that we would say, well, we're never going back there again. No, they're all, they all have their own character and kind of in common, I guess. There's hiking trails, there's biking trails. A lot of times there are ranger-led programs, tours, etc. that you can go on. And we've, participated in a bunch of those in the parks that we stayed at, and like them all. Couple things to remember. There's a few things to remember. One is not all sites have sewer hookups. Okay, every park does have a dump station. So, and you'll find a lot of folks have these, portable tanks that they strap on the back of their trailer, and they empty their trailer into the tank, and then they tow the tank over to the dump station and empty it over there. I don't like handling the stuff once. I don't want to handle it twice, so I don't do that. I can only say it's one of the other things to remember about Florida campgrounds. You have a 2-week maximum. Right?
That's right. And scheduling is a little tricky also.
Mm-hmm.
As Gary mentioned, we schedule our first stay at a state park well into our time in Florida. We spend the first little bit of our time with cousins, and then we kind of look ahead and say, okay, maybe a week or so after we reach Florida, we'll schedule a time to go to a state park. The tricky part about staying at a state park is that you can only schedule 10 months in advance, and the Florida folks are able to schedule 11 months in advance. So some of those camping sites are already taken by the time we want to schedule our stay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little tricky that way. You really have to be on the ball. We have to go online 10 months minus 1 day at 8:01 a.m. to try to book our state park sites. This year that we're talking about right now, we were able to schedule 3 2-week stays in a row. Stay 2 weeks at one state park, then you move on to another state park and another state park. You may not stay longer than 2 weeks, as he said. And if you do want to go back to that same park, you've got to be out of that park for, I think, 3 days.
Yeah.
Something
3
like
days,
that.
yeah.
And then you can schedule another 2-week stay. Mm-hmm. We really did well this year.
Yeah, you did, and you did well because you did all that.
Thank you.
That was all that. Expert here on dealing with the Florida State Park reservation system. So some people just like to pull up to the campground and say, hey, you got any reservations, any openings? And at the state parks, often they don't. They go by their reservation system. They don't necessarily go around and look and see who's there or who isn't. And a lot of times people will make reservations and they might not come and show up for them for the full period of time. Sites might be empty for several days. So just be prepared. You're going to see some of that too. Okay. It's just part of the way it rolls.
It's a little frustrating, but you have to work the system and you do your best.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, one of the other things we did we did mention a little bit besides the Florida parks is, we stayed at a lot of Harvest Hosts on the way down. We use Harvest Host when we went out west. We've been members of Harvest Host now for, I think, about 4 years.
I think so.
We got on board just when we started doing some more traveling when I retired. So, and we, found that to be just really, really fun and interesting. They merged with Boondockers Welcome, which is another group. Basically what it is, you pay a yearly fee and you then have access to their map, which shows all the different locations. These are basically small businesses for Harvest Hosts or private landowners for Boondockers Welcome that allow you to park your rig there overnight. Okay. If it's a small business, they would appreciate if you would stick your head in the door and purchase something. So wineries, breweries, restaurants.
One of the first ones we stayed at actually was a church.
The church, yes.
And they had a QR code where you could make a donation, which was wonderful. We arrived at the church parking lot, and a gentleman came out. He had a gift bag for us.
Mhm.
It had cookies in it, and popcorn, and water, and a little bit of information about their church. They provided electricity at that particular
Yes.
Harvest Host. So it was a lovely stop, nice flat parking lot to stay in. Another one, let's see, we actually stayed at a campground on the way down, I believe, one time when we were visiting friends.
Yep.
That was our anchor spot where we wanted to see some people, and so we stayed at a campground.
Yep.
And that's another little thing about Harvest Host that you have to remember. It's not always economical. We're at a Harvest Host site in Pennsylvania. It's a winery.
Oh, it's a winery.
Yes, and they have great food, and they're going to have bingo tonight. So we're going to participate, and we will let you know if we win anything. But it is fun.
Yes.
You meet wonderful people, and you get new experiences. So all of that together makes it really fun for us. We enjoy it, and if it's not your thing, it's not your thing, but it is our thing, and we really do enjoy it.
Yeah,
So,
we got a good kick out of that.
we have a lot of fun.
So, those are some of the thoughts that we have around plans, and again, we know that some people are more attuned to doing that and want those things all set up. Like I'm reminded of the quote from General Dwight David Eisenhower, who said that plans are worthless, but planning is everything. Kind of a corollary to no battle plan survives first contact with the enemy, which he would be very, well experienced with. But the idea being that, you make the plans and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. And then life occurs, right? And so, like we said, we had, one host that said, don't come because, you won't get out or get in. And so it's like, okay, well, we're going to have to do something else. And we did. We kept driving. We actually, we were planning on spending the night one place, and we went, instead of having that halfway point between A and B, we went to B. So, we got in a little later than we ordinarily would, but we were going to be there for a few days anyway. So it was all right. And they had room for us.
And now actually for the
on this
past
trip,
day or so, we've been planning our trip home. And it required a little bit more planning than we had thought. We had a plan.
We had
and then we had another plan.
And we had another plan.
And then we had another plan.
And we had
after
another
that.
plan after that.
So things happened. We have people we wanted to see, definite anchors for our trip home. And then we had another little glitch come in where we really needed to make another stop. Now we changed it 3 times. So, and we're still here,
the anchors pretty much stayed the same. Okay. I think, there were like 4 people we want to see. And
we got an extra anchor.
We had to add a 5th. I was like, yeah, okay. Do we have to move any of these? No, we just have to, get earlier here and all that. And so we had to move a couple of things around as far as making sure we're someplace on time to be able to see people during the day. But anyway, that's the planning for our snowbird vacation this year. Okay. And if you have any questions about that, because I have many, please feel free to drop those in the comments and we'll try to get back to you on those. And please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching RV Sometime.
Where our sometime is now.
You expecting food or something? Because we're not going to feed you. Because we're not supposed to. Because you're wildlife. It says don't feed the wildlife. Okay? That's one of the rules. Oh, okay. Well, fine. Yeah, well, I don't think so either. Okay, well, you be that way.